who don't even want to come here and give you a minute of their time to tell you what they are talking about.
All right, that was the first year of the presidential debate. He was supposed to be with Wajackoyah. He was alone on that debate. Before we get into the deputy president, the UDA presidential candidate, William Ruto, Kipchumba, what was your take home from Wahiga Mwaure's appearance, if you watched?
First of all, thank you, Ben, for having me in this studio. And secondly is we should appreciate when such a men come forth and offer themselves for the presidential seat or for any political seat, because I listened to a small segment, or rather half of the segment. The first 45 minutes I was held up somewhere, but when I came, I listened to Wahiga Mwaure and I was impressed, but I had a feeling that he's the right man, but not for the season. This season calls for quite a different kind of a mettle for this work, the work ahead for Kenyans, but he came with ideas, although now he couldn't fit the how. The how was the problem, because Ben, everybody can have an idea, but the problem is fixing the idea, because everybody, if you go to Langata Cemetery, there are so many ideas that are lying there, but why are they there? It's because nobody actualized those ideas, and actualizing some of these ideas is putting the idea and the how to do it so that you can have a practical thing and move from theory. And
what about the fact that Wajackoyah was a no-show?
Wajackoyah being a no-show, it is not sending the right message. And everywhere, Ben, there are rules. Even in Premier League, there are people who are playing at Premier League, and then there are people who are playing at Division 1. All that is because not all of us can fit in one stage. And all these were polls that had been done. I might not agree with the correctness of the polls, but if that was if that is what the organizers used, you can't fight the rules. It was used in the Nairobi gubernatorial race. It was used in this in the deputy president race. So I didn't see why. And Wajackoyah, to allow the deputy, the running mate to come to the debate, and then he turns around and says that is helping the media. I saw that as being mendacious. He was not being honest. Right. And then again also, when you look at how politicians take things for granted, you will expect political newcomers like Wajackoyah to come with fresh ideas and to do away with the mendacity and the entitlement that run in our politics and most of the establishment candidates. That was a fail for Wajackoyah. He betrayed his supporters, because this was a platform where we expected him to sell the weed agenda, to sell the snake poison agenda, to sell all the ideas that he has. He's the only presidential candidate who is thinking as though the box is not existing. Right. We expected him to give us an opportunity to interrogate those things away from the ulabalu and the bragadasho that he normally does with on top of a rooftop. So I think he missed an opportunity for us to put the policy end in the snake business, for us to question all this, because also, Ben, as I finalize on this, is that Wanjikunization of our political process has to start somewhere. We cannot just say we want change and we do not believe in taking the first step. Okay. Going or submitting yourself for a presidential debate is the first step to say that you are really interested in serving the people. So for me, I will applaud Mwaure. I'll say he's the right man, but the season, this is not the right season.
According to you.
But he did well. The last part that I had, he did well. And I wish we could continue. We are going there.
We're getting there, right?
Yes.
Mark Bichachi, Wanjikunization of our politics, lack of it thereof, by the four presidential candidates not showing up. What is your take on that, specifically on that first-year debate that was supposed to be Wajackoyah versus Mwaure?
Well, I think I must congratulate Mwaure. He articulated himself quite well. He gave out his points with clarity, and you could even hear from the clip the passion that he has for what he's doing. Now, my good friend Kipchumba has noted that, you know, sometimes the hour, the man is not fit for the hour. And unfortunately, that's the truth. Not because he lacks what it takes to be a leader, but because simply the moment that is there can only be seized by by two juggernauts, and that may be unfortunate as it is, but it gave Wahiga a chance to actually show what his mettle is about, and I'm sure those who support him have a platform upon which to speak to other people and see whether they can begin to tip that point. But it raises the key question, and the key question is that why is Mwaure at less than 1%? Why is he there? Is it because he lacks the oratory skills? Is it because he lacks the communication firms to support him? No. The issue is that the way our political system is set up, it will always be that the person with the highest resources is the one who's going to win the vote. And you remember, there was a poll, not a poll, a study actually that was released sometimes late last year that stated that in the MP races, in the senatorial races, in the gubernatorial races, whichever race you wanted to count, the person who spent more money won that election. And that's really what we need to address. If we're going to Wanjikunize this politics in Kenya, it is not about Wanjiku choosing a wealthy Kenyan to represent him. No.
Right.
It's about Wanjiku getting into her pocket and actually sponsoring a next door Karanja, a next door Nyaribo, a next door Nyongesa, and putting that resource into that fellow Babamboga, fellow Boda Boda, and putting that resource and propelling them to office. If we want to make this about Wanjiku, then Wanjiku really has to change the tide away from the political elite giving her money to vote, and now her beginning to create a political elite that is sustained by her own pocket. So how we fund elections is how we Wanjikunize our electoral processes.